Hablando with Filmatic. And thank you so much for hanging out with us. 30 videos we have done so far. Today marks our 31st video. I promised at the beginning of the year that I'm going to drop a video every single week. So if you like that, if you like something that has that little bit of repetition, but with new content every week, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Today, I want to talk to you, the high school graduate or the college graduate, or even possibly the film school graduate. I want to help you as you are going to start navigating through your filmmaking career. And I know a lot of people are just like, what the heck I'm going to do? You know, they're literally just walked through the stage and now they're just like, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to be the next Roger Deakins cinematographer? Am I going to be the next greatest producer? Am I going to, make the next Star Wars? And what's going to happen? And the cool thing is that as long as you're starting in the process, you have no idea where you're going to end up. So I just want to encourage you with that, because when I started back in the day, it was very hard for me to navigate, and that's just because I wanted to be, or I wanted to be a cinematographer. Well, actually, I wanted to be a Spanish music video director back in the day, but slowly transitioned to director, and then I ended up being the guy behind the camera a lot. So ended up just going full-time as a director of photography and haven't looked back. With that said, I'm going to answer a couple things here. One of them is we're going to ask 3 basic questions, and each one I'm going to give you the really quick answer, and then I'm going to give you a little bit more of a long-winded answer, just depending on that. And I'd love to always, if you have more questions, I do not mind just jumping on the camera real quick and answering that for you. And you can also ask me on Instagram. I'm pretty good at replying back, as long as you're not trying to, sell me something or make me watch your 5-minute demo reel. With that said, let's get into the first question. First question is, do I need to buy gear? Okay, simple answer is no. That's the easiest answer that I can give you, is that no. In the way that the industry is currently going, in the era that we are in, you do not need to buy gear. Most likely, you're either watching this on a computer that can edit videos, and most likely you're watching this, or you're watching it on a device like your iPhone or Android that can shoot 4K, etc., etc. So the honest answer is no, you don't need to buy gear. But do I recommend you buying gear? Well, it depends. So let's say that you do have money saved and you have things that you're ready to go into, and you want to buy something. Well, buy something with longevity. Buy something that will help you throughout your career, for at least the first 2 or 3 years of your career. Let's say that you're going to possibly go into weddings, or go into weddings or event production, or doing those kinds of things just to pay the bills. Well, buy something that makes sense. Like, if you're not even in the cinematography realm yet, I don't recommend buying like the latest Red camera or the latest Alexa camera. The world of buying camera and getting a job is kind of done. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's just kind of so far gone. And there's so many people that focus, telling people that, oh, I have this 4K camera, whatever. Like, dude, most of your clients in their pocket will have a 4K camera. It really honestly doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the skill, how quick you are with your clients, etc., etc. As long as you're not going to hurt future self, by taking out a loan or doing a credit cards, things like that, just wait. Or if you do have the money, whatever company you're going to work with, or let's say you're going to do weddings, find out what cameras are they using. Like, what's the nicest camera that they want to have on there? Maybe getting that C70, C80, FX2, FX3, maybe that might be worth that extra $50 or extra $75 they give you, or $100 they give you that day for bringing camera with gear. And the thing is that gear, ultimately, you're going to get it at some point in your career. It depends. If you become a producer or whatever, you'll find out what's going to be the best item to have, what's going to be a hot ticket item, what's going to be something that, just helps you get gigs and stuff like that later on down the line. If you're not in some kind of community or some kind of already rotation with like different agencies and things like that, you're like, believe me, you're going to be able to use like whatever. or they're going to provide a camera to you. Okay. So with that said, don't spend the money unless you have the money. And if you have the money, you don't even have to do that. Other options, of course, would be renting. You can rent the gear, test it out before you like it. My normal rule is that if you rent it 5 times, then you should probably buy it. We do the math of if it takes 20 rentals, with 20 rentals, you should be able to own the camera. So if you rented that camera 20 times, you probably should have bought it at this time. So super simple to do that. The other way to do a breakdown on how much you should be renting your gear out would be to also divide it by 20. Cost of whatever your item is divided by 20. That should give you a pretty good number of what a day rate for that gear should be. The other thing is that, man, if you have friends or if you have people that you're working with, maybe you're a director, you're not a DP, but you're working with a cinematographer DP that has gear. I mean, just tighten it with them, help them, just help them on their projects. And whenever it's time to work on your projects, then, see if you can borrow, but put in the time, do some real collaboration. Okay. So do you need to buy the gear? No. Can you? Absolutely yes. Should you? Probably not. The next question is that I hear a lot of people ask is, do I need to go to film school? I think the honest answer for that is maybe. And the reason why I say maybe, it depends on what trajectory you're trying to find yourself in. So for example, here in the Houston area, we're more of a technician town. So if you go to, let's say, Houston Community College, they have a great little film program there. I know a ton of people that have gone to that school, went to a couple of those technician classes, and they're already working in the industry. So it was a community college. They didn't pay a lot of money. They just learned some of the basics. They learned how to use the film cameras. They learned how to use certain things, and that's it. Like, they learned proper etiquette. They learned how to even budget and do breakdowns. A lot of the simple stuff, and those classes I don't think are that expensive. So if you need some of that technical training, then yeah, maybe. But I will tell you that a lot of friends that I know that have gone to USC, UCLA, NYU, when they get out of those programs, man, they are so well connected. I mean, their friends are already pitching and shooting many things. Those people that are integrated into those systems, all of a sudden you're hearing that, ex famous actor or ex famous producer is coming in to teach a class. I know UT Austin, that's like a big thing. A lot of like Matthew McConaughey passes by there and teaches a class or has given recommendations and all kinds of cool stuff. So is it beneficial? Yeah, it just depends on what trajectory you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to get into the system, into the program, move on to above the line or start working on those higher end projects, I think you do really need to focus or go to a film program that is revered. But there's a cost to it, and it just takes money. It takes money. Some people are lucky and they can get into programs and they can all get paid for, but that doesn't happen to everybody. I personally went to U of H. I graduated from there. I went for TV production. I shifted and went straight into film, trying to live the film life in Houston. And now I'm a cinematographer based out of Houston, but I've worked everywhere and worked for a lot of brand names that you probably have heard of. And, even though sometimes I'm a day player, there's been very, very cool projects that I have done in their entirety, from documentaries to several narratives to a bunch of other stuff that, has been able to keep me fed and has taken care of me. So in short, the answer is maybe, and if you already graduated from these schools, trust the process, get into the circles, or just go and start creating, because you're already out those doors, and just start creating, and hopefully use some of those connections that you have, use those professors, use any of those industry people that you've met, and just try to pitch. But don't just wait for someone to pick you up and say, oh yeah, this person is talented. No. You can't be waiting like that. You have to get stuff. You have to start making stuff, and you have to start pushing it as much as you can. And don't just focus on one project. Focus on several, because most of the people that you probably follow, if they're not a YouTuber, if they're like in the film industry, they're not super known until they're like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. So this is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. It's is a sprint. You can probably get noticed really quickly now because of internet, but longevity, right, being an icon and all that stuff like that's down the line. But if you want to make a living, you can definitely do it without being an icon and all that cool stuff. So yeah, should you go to film school? No, I mean maybe, right? It really it depends on what's your trajectory. For me, I recommend most people not to go if you're just going to be a technician. If you just like working on movie sets, for the most part, you'll probably be able to get into your industry pretty quickly, especially if you're not like in LA or even if you're in LA it's easier, but even if you're not in like those kinds of big markets, start looking up film meets and that kind of stuff, and start offering yourself as a production assistant and work your way in, and you'll start making stuff happen. What's the first thing I should do when I graduate? So of course I said don't buy gear, and film school is a maybe, right? Like if you really want to do it, cool, do it. The other one is, should I move to LA or New York? Well, for a long time I would tell people not to move. Stay in your hometown, build your place up, do that. Now that I have that experience of being in Houston for 15 years, doing this stuff, I have so many friends in LA and New York, Austin, and everywhere else, and it's always cool when they're coming back into town because they know who to call. They're like, if you're looking for someone that does legit work or knows how to handle like a production, hit up Orlando. Like that's already like a done deal, right? Like hit up Filmatic, they'll take care of you. Whatever budget size, we'll take care of it. So I'm super happy that has happened, right? But it's not like Houston has grown. Houston actually, I think, feels like it has shrunk a little bit. A lot of our like really high end technicians left. They moved to LA and to New York and a couple other places, and almost everyone that comes back that comes back from New York or LA, they're connected, but they're not like connected. Like they're not the ones that can like automatically propel you to have like an amazing career. That's just that's the truth. Because those people that have those kinds of connections, like the money is here in Houston, but the people who control and can pull the money in are in LA and New York, and that's the reality of it. So, and Atlanta, that's another one. So now that I've recommended a lot of my friends to leave, like you're young, you don't have a plan yet, you want to go to LA and to New York, okay, cool. Hopefully you have a cousin there. Hopefully you have friends that can help you rent a place. Hopefully you have that kind of stuff. Move, work in that. And the reason why I think it's a good idea to move to some of those areas is because they are like, if you imagine, they are meccas for creative people. Now, are there creative people in Houston and in other territories that are as creative or more than the meccas? Yeah, but there's just so many more there. So you can imagine having literally a street, like that's the one thing, is like you can go down the street in Hollywood and there are literally rental houses on every single block. So where normally I would have to rent an Alexa Mini or something big for $1,200 a day because I'm in Houston and there's I think 5 Alexa Mini LFs in Houston, I literally can go into LA, go on ShareGrid and find an Alexa Mini LF for $400 with whatever lenses I want. And that to me is just blows my brain. So there's just so many people that are there ready to do that, where in your smaller town, you're trying to find those circles and everyone around those circles are also struggling and fighting. So if you're younger, I would say, yeah, go ahead and move, but move with the right mindset. Don't go there just to, don't go there just to like waste time. Like you have to do things. You have to go and start filming. You have to start doing shorts. You have to put your time and effort into it and start working your way up. And I think that's going to be a pretty solid thing. So overall, what I would recommend is for you to just make a plan. Let's say that you do not have a significant other, or let's say that you do not have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? So you're single. Well, if let's say that you also have your parents and they're not well off, but they've been helping you survive for the past couple of years. Well, what I have told a lot of the people that I've mentored when they're in that position is like, look, tell your parents, no matter where you're at in your career, to give you 2 years, 2 years to help them start paying a bill, to help them, slowly put money towards, like the house, things like that. Tell them that, look, I want to be a filmmaker, and there are people out there who are making money, and it's possible to make X amount of money if you do the math. Like, let's say you're shooting weddings or something like that, right? But show them, show them the plan and say, it's possible that I can make X amount of money if I just go out there and work, even doing real estate or doing whatever, right? So if that's the plan, then tell them, give me a year or give me 2 years. And in 2 years, I want to be paying like one of your bills, whether that's, a $250 bill, cell phone bill you're paying for everyone. Cool. Now you got things that you absolutely have to do. And slowly but surely, man, help your parents pay off their house. Get to the point where maybe you do find that significant other, you find that person, but now you have the ability and you've already built up your wealth a little bit to be able to make some better moves. And overall, that's what I recommend is lean on the support system that you have. Don't just leave it if you don't have it, because it is very important for you still to be supported by those around you. And that's one thing that I really embraced, and I was happy that I had here in Houston when we did our first feature. And we actually did our first pitch trailer for our film called Journey. We had a screening. We had a screening of that film, and we had 100 people show up. And that kind of showed the support that we have here in Houston of people that all they've known for me is that I was shooting weddings at the time and I was filming some short films, but that many people came out to our pitch trailer. That really, it was so cool, because even the film industry, I think like maybe 5 to 7 people from the film industry came and showed up, and they're like, who are all these people? And so it was pretty cool to see that. And that's one thing why I was like, don't leave Houston. Houston loves you, and they'll claim you when they know what you do. And so I'm pretty excited about that. But I know it's a lot. I know you can do it. I know you're nervous. I know that it's one of those things that you're trying to figure out, but you will. And you just have to make a plan and stick to it, because if you don't start, like it's never going to happen. So once again, do you need to buy gear? It depends. Do you need to go to film school? Maybe. Do you need to move out of whatever town you're in? Maybe. Take all that, and hopefully you can make some decisions. Ultimately, I've learned in my life that the one thing that I can do with people is help them make decisions, whether that's in cinematography or in anything else, is to help them be very, very sure of what decisions they make, especially if it's on the screen or if it's going to end up on the screen, and give them that. All right. Well, this is Orlando Filmatic. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them on Instagram or anywhere else. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that cool stuff. I think you're going to make it. All right. Talk to you. Peace.
Keep it going. Keep it going, keep it.